Stories have a captivating power. We want to read one more page or watch one more episode and even sit down for 3 hours in front of a screen just to get to know what happens at the end. So why don't we use the structure of stories to keep our students engaged during the semester? In our first video on storytelling, we introduced the structure of the hero's journey using literature and movies. You can find the link to that video in the description below. Let's see how the hero's journey resembles the student's learning journey. It's the first class of the semester, and the students come into our lecture with their expectations and previous knowledge. After learning about the contents of the course, some of the students might still be interested in it, but others might be reluctant to stay. Here is where the mentor steps in and encourages them to start the learning journey, where they will get the chance to process and test the gained knowledge and skills, getting feedback and reflecting on their victories and setbacks. Towards the end of the semester, they will recap all what they have learned, preparing for the final exam, which they will hopefully pass. The students arrive changed to the end of the semester with new knowledge and skills. With those, they can come back the next semester to keep on developing as professionals by starting a new learning journey. As you might have already noticed, we, the lecturers, are not the heroes of the story. Then, what is our role in it? Of course, we are the mentor. We have the responsibility to encourage them to overcome their insecurities or demotivation to start the journey. We should also provide them something they need to successfully finish the course. How can we reach this? We should show them why they should care about this topic by telling them some real-life experiences or examples, or by giving them a sneak peek of what they are able to do at the end of the semester. The key is to clearly state the goals of the course. As mentor, we should define them when we start planning a lecture. They should be interesting and challenging for the students, but still achievable during the time we have available. This brings me to the second role we have in the students' learning journey. We are responsible to test if the students have achieved the learning outcomes at the end of the semester. This gives us as mentors a privileged position, because we know exactly for what should the students prepare for. That's why it is useful when planning a course and after we set the learning outcomes to define how we're going to check if the skills and knowledge have been acquired by the students. This includes what type of tests and questions we are using for the exam. After we define this, we can think of the best way to prepare our students for that. It doesn't make sense to prepare our students for writing essays if they will have an oral exam. It is important that the students get to process and apply the acquired skills and knowledge. If you think of the classical hero's journey story, the hero develops the most when the mentor is not present, and they must solve their problems by themselves. As mentors, we can only encourage them, guide them, and support them for the journey ahead. We can alternate blocks of new information with activities like quizzes, exercises, or case studies, where they get feedback on their performance from a teacher, a tutor, or other students. By this, they can check their own learning process and decide if they need more time to study a specific topic. This way of structuring the semester can also be applied for a single lecture. If you think about your course as a story, it can help you and your students to focus on learning outcomes and to stay motivated about the topic during the semester and beyond. If you have any questions about storytelling or about the role of storytelling in the lecture hall, feel free to contact us at ProLehre. Enjoy trying out storytelling while teaching and mentoring your students.